for me, the understanding the basics and the fundamentals. Like once you start understanding the fundamentals, you give yourself power.
I've had this argument for people over and over again that, oh, you have to be employed for you to be able to start a business. You have to be employed for you. That could not be further from the truth. Our ancestors were never employed by anyone. They worked from themselves. They built things themselves. They invented. The fundamentals of wealth in the African traditional communities are centered around creation and life. We, as human beings, are created and carry life in us. And so our responsibility is to make sure that we create things that sustain our day-to-day life. This is why many of our ancestors really valued creating their own things. And if you go to different tribes, depending on the environment and the area they were living in, you'll notice how diverse their creations were. And this really forms or speaks to the basics of entrepreneurship, which was long established in Africa even before we start to talk about entrepreneurship today. Now, if you, for instance, go to the coastal communities, they had their own traditional dressing. They created their own forms of hairstyles. They had their own religion. There was a way they worshiped. They had valuable items that they valued, that they knew they could trade with other communities. Hence the term barter trade. And what you'll notice is that a lot of these valuable creations or things that we heard was stolen. 90%, it said 90% of African artifacts currently lie in Western museums.
European institutions like the British Museum and the Louvre are home to some of the world's finest art. But some of the treasures on display were stolen during colonial times. Experts believe up to 90% of African cultural artifacts were taken from the continent.
And this was valuable knowledge that we had that was transferred to the next generation, because this was how we documented things for ourselves. Now, even as you look at the aspect of building wealth and it being surrounded through ownership and what our ancestors had established, this is not different from what the Wall Street people are saying right now. Just listen to this. Ownership is key.
The key to wealth is through ownership. Like that was one of the things that made it click, because I studied the wealthy people. The key to building wealth is not how much you can work. You can't work your way to wealth. You got to invest your way to. And all wealthy people, black, white, Asian, Chinese, they own a whole bunch of shit. The people who aren't wealthy is because they don't own nothing. You only have your money sitting in cash. If your money is just sitting in cash, realistically, you're becoming poorer every day.
Right, or they own depreciating assets.
And that's what cash is. It's a depreciating asset, because the more money they print, the more money that money loses value. Yeah. So if it's just sitting, it's the reason why the bank wants you to have your money there, so they can take it and use it and invest it so much and be like, hey, it's just sitting, I'm gonna give you 50 cents on whatever you had in there. Right. And so the idea of ownership was, we can just start owning everything that no matter if it's just a stock. Like, that's powerful, because if you can start owning the businesses that you now consume every day, you turn a one-time transaction to a lifetime of profit.
Things changed, especially because along the way, during the colonial period, and if you look at this article, there was the introduction of colonial currency that transitioned Africans from their indigenous way of life and valuing the ability to create and own things. As you listen to the Wall Street people are saying that you have to own your own things. You have to create for yourself what you need, because that is the source of wealth. Because if you're constantly buying, if you're constantly getting cash, you're really dependent on the system. And that is what the colonial currency came to do, to distort the way we were living and the ability for us to create. And now we started to become dependent to the system. Now, if you read this, it says the introduction of new currencies in the colonies was one of the most important institutional changes brought by colonial rule. One of the main goals of the colonial reform of Africa monetary system was the reintroduction of transaction costs between the colony and the home country. At the same time, the introduction of quote-unquote modern currency was seen as a way to transform local economy structure to construct export-oriented economies. Now, think about it. Export-oriented economies, who were these economies going to benefit? Were they going to benefit the local? Were they going to benefit the quote-unquote colonies, that the people who had colonized Africa? Think about it, because even as you look at this whole concept of building a global economy, now we have really shifted because of this reintroduction of new currency. It's really shifted us into wanting to use money as the key definer of wealth in our communities. And now many of us Africans have been brainwashed to think, if I have X amount of money and this money, I can be able to buy this amount of material things, then this will define that I have wealth, that I have made it in life. But that could not be further from the truth, guys. Even just listen to the people in Wall Street as they talk about cash.
The people who aren't wealthy is because they don't own nothing. You only have your money sitting in cash. If your money is just sitting in cash, realistically, you're becoming poorer every day.
Right, or they own depreciating assets.
And that's what cash is. It's a depreciating asset because the more money they print, the more money that money loses value. So if it's just sitting, it's the reason why the bank wants you to have your money there. So they can take it and use it and invest it so much and be like, hey, it's just sitting, I'm gonna give you 50 cents on whatever you had in there. Right. And so the idea of ownership was, we can just start owning everything that no matter if it's just a stock. Like, that's powerful, because if you can start owning the businesses that you now consume every day, you turn a one-time transaction to a lifetime of profit.
You see, the idea that you have money and that this money then defines that you are rich or not rich, or you have made it or you have not made it, is not the real definition of wealth. I'm grateful to the indigenous African communities that have continued to hold the ideals that we need to create. We need to create our own things. We need to create our own traditional cloth. We cannot, if I go and look at my leso today, which is my traditional wear from the Kenyan Coast people, if I look at that piece of cloth, it says made in India, made in China. It never says made in Kenya, but yet we are the people who are consuming this. Tell me why we cannot create our own traditional wear. If you have money, can money really buy you clean water? If that clean water is switched off by someone else, will it still get you? You see, you have to be able to find ways to reinvent yourself. Think about it. If the supplier who is supplying your food today says, I do not want to supply, what good will that money be? You have to dig your land and you have to create your own things. Religion. We frown on African religion. But the religion that we have now, many of us don't want to question. But there are so many things that came with it. A lot of oppression. It was used as a tool of oppression. And so because it has eroded the way we used to pray to God back in the olden days, many of us now do not value the olden days. We value this. But if we're not able to document, we're not able to go back and revive our indigenous healing processes, value indigenous biodiversity, create our own ways of life, then who are we really becoming? We're just becoming zombies who are dependent on the system that cannot even sustain themselves should the system collapse. And so the essence of this video today is for us to encourage each other as Africans to go back to the village, value that knowledge. The older generation right now, these are like books that we should be valuing. We should be having conversations with. We should be talking of ways how we're going to rebuild our indigenous economies.